Well, first thing first, that is understanding the user interface of ServiceNow. The main UI is actually divided into three components: the banner, the application navigator, and the content frame. So I'll again show you back the banners. So basically what the banner gives you around is, here you go, this is the banner, and the banner contains the system administrator, like the user. You can search things around here. This is something where you can chat, live chat. You can filter the conversations. You can just add to connect with your coworkers. You just add a user and you can just start chatting with them. Something like Facebook, pretty much easy to use. And this is something, the user guide, the documentation. Anytime you want, you can just come here and watch them. And these are the system settings. So this all things come under the banner. So again, in the system settings, you can see basically what kind of theme you want, these different colors. This is the one, the standard one, which I prefer, but you can just go and choose any other theme you want. And these are the lists. You want longer text and list columns to be wrapped or not. How should the forms to be looked like? I'll show. Once the forms are there are something called related list, how they look, the notifications, what is your primary email, where the email should go, the developer instance. This you can see, this is the application as a global one, but I'll explain you more about this application now. This might be a global one, but you have many other applications too. You can see the change management, the service social knowledge, service portal service, guided setup. These are the different applications. And this is the update set. I'm going to explain you about all these things later, but understanding the UI, this is something basic, the general things. You can set the time zones. So this is about the banner. Now this is something, you can see the next one is the application navigator. And what application navigator does is you can use them to access the applications, the modules, and you can use a filter field to quickly locate items. Yeah, so here you can see this is the application navigator. If I just want to search something called incident, yeah, you can see these are the modules, and I just click them, they collapse. These are all modules. So when I searched NC, you can see these are the modules which I got: the self-service, the service desk, and the incident. So in the self-service, these are the application files. Now that's what it's talking about. You can access the applications and the modules. So these are the incidents. These are like, you can just, these are the service desk. These are all applications with an incident. So I just click on incidents. You can see this is the something. This is the content frame. So this has been the search, that is the application navigator. This is called the application filter navigator, where you can go and filter things. So this is the filter navigator. And then the content frame is the place where actually it shows the content pages. Then it can show anything, whatever you click, that's gonna appear back into the content frame. So now I just clicked on the incidents. There are no incidents currently, there are no records to display. So that's how it shows. If I click on something else like my assets, if there are anything, it's going to show you. Yeah, so these are the assets. So the various ways, you can see the diagrammatic views, the list views, or other ways. And if you come back to the home page, this is the dashboard, and this view is different to different guys. If you see, a system admin's view will be like this. You can see he can do the guided setup, the securities, the logics, he can create and deploy the files. So these all things happen from system administrator point of view. But if you want to see how an ITIL page looks, you can just click on this and you can see yeah, so the ITIL guys basically concentrate on resolving the situation whenever there are problems or there are any incidents. So this is how their dashboard will look, where they can understand what are the critical tasks, what are the groups they have been assigned to. So these all things come within them. Again, I can just go to the self-service, which is for the end users. This is going to be different, where you can see, okay, so these are the news, how can they help. You can just change your password, you can report issues. So this is an end user view dashboard. So I'll just get back to the system administration view. So this is about the main content frame. And yeah, there is something here. If you see this side, the left side, that is the application navigator, there are three sections. One is the history, whatever you've been selecting. This you can see just now I selected incident, so it came back here as incidents. And now if I click on the favorite, is this is where the favorite items, whatever there are many things, there are many modules. You can't just type all the time. uh, so what you might require is sometimes a shortcut or your favorite items. Like if I say my favorite item is service portal, I'll explain what service portal is, but it's one of the module. If you see this module, I can select the entire module as my favorite, or I can select the individual ones. If I select the entire module, you'll be able to see all of them get selected. Here you see, there you see, all of them within this module are going to be my favorites. And once I click on this favorite, you can see here, if I just, these are collapsible because this is the favorite module. You can just select whatever you want, and then it's like a shortcut. So this is about the basic UI of the service now. So this is where all your things happen. You're raising instance, managing them, whatnot, everything happens from here. So you've seen the UI of ServiceNow. Now let's get into the next sections. Now I'm gonna explain you about few things. The content frame displays something called lists and forms. What are lists and what are forms? List is something like a general term which everyone knows. There are 100 students in a class. I say 50 students in a class. So if your teacher asks you to show all the usernames, how do you show them? You just show them in a list. And that's how a list is basically. So a list is a content page displaying 0 or more records. Yes, if there are records it will show, if not it doesn't. For the same table, rows and columns organize the list. So obviously a list always has a row and a column. Each row is a record and each column is a field of the record. So if you guys have a good amount of knowledge in the database tables, these are something like each table has a record and each column represents the column different fields. And lists are what you can do with the list in ServiceNow. Okay, I say there are lists, I can see the list. Now what can I do with the list? Yes, you can search, you can sort, or you can edit anything. Like if it is an editable, if you have a permission, you can edit. Searchable in the sense, now I say if there are 1,000 students in a school, if the school principal wants to know all the people whose name is like Adam, he just can search them, he can sort them. Now if he wants to sort the entire list in a chronological order, then he can sort them. If he wants to know when a student entered the organization, then you can just see like created. So when is that record created, by that he can just sort them in the ascending or descending order, and you can see that. And next, it's editable. As I said, you can edit it, like double click on that. If you want to change the name of a person, like it was misspelled, you can just change it at any time. So that's how it is. And filters can be applied to search based on custom conditions. Even if you feel like what ServiceNow by default provided, you're not satisfied with that conditions, you can just go and add many other conditions by clicking on the filter icon on the top left. Yes, I'll show you how does that look. You can just add or remove the conditions. Yeah, before going into the forms, let's see one quick way of how do you do this list. For suppose, let's imagine incident, and I want to see all the open incidents, whatever.